The Center for Unhindered Living presents Plus Size Polyamory with Judy McMath, where our motto is, don't follow the crowd, follow your heart. Episode 9, Things You Should Never Say to a Poly Person. Good morning. I hope you're all having a great day so far. Today we'll be discussing those common faux pas that monogamous people often make when talking to poly people. These statements represent misunderstandings of polyamory and are just things you shouldn't say to poly people. Hopefully, you monogamous people will come to understand us a little better. And if not, at least you can know what hurts our feelings and hopefully avoid it. So if you have a monogamous friend, get them to listen to this episode. But first, I'd like to ask you to consider becoming a patron of our show. If you have found something of value in our work, you can pledge as little as $1 a month and get access to some neat patron benefits. Just click on the Become a Patron button at the top of the podcast page or go to patron.podbean.com/pspolyamory, and thanks for your support. Poly faux pas number 1. Polyamory is just an excuse to cheat. We get so tired of hearing this one. This is really hurtful to us because, frankly, most of us are interested in having more integrity in our relationships, not less. Poly people in general want everything to be honest, above board, and transparent in our relationships. We don't hide things from our partners, and we engage in polyamory only with everyone involved consenting. As a monogamous person, did you talk openly about your expectations with your partner, or did you just assume they wanted a monogamous relationship? You see, in poly relationships, we don't take that for granted. All parameters of the relationships are usually spelled out. In poly relationships, there's no reason to cheat because additional relationships aren't prohibited. Lying and cheating only happens when your partner is afraid of your response. Poly faux pas number 2. Well, at least if you lose a partner, you still have your spouse, so you shouldn't be sad. This presupposes that people are interchangeable, which they aren't. And it minimizes the pain and genuine grieving you feel when losing someone you love. What if someone said to you when one of your children dies, well, you shouldn't be sad because you still have another child, or, well, you shouldn't be sad because you can have another child. That would be so insensitive. Poly faux pas number 3. You must have been unhappy with your relationship if you were looking around for someone else. This represents a common misconception. We poly people realize a truth that monogamous people don't realize or don't seem to own up to. No one person can or should be expected to meet all your needs. This is why 50% of marriages end in divorce, and the other 50% that stay married, half of these are less than happy with their relationships. So only 1 out of 4 people in monogamous marriages are truly happy. When these relationships start, they expect their partner to meet all their needs forever, and that's just not fair or realistic. So if I love, say, to go fishing, but my spouse or partner hates it, why should I have to go the rest of my life without ever going fishing? Or, if my partner only likes vanilla sex, and by that I mean regular, missionary position, vaginal sex, but I want something a bit more exciting, why should I have to go my whole life without that? Why can't both partners' needs be met? I do vanilla with my spouse, and I do something little more innovative with someone else. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with my marriage. It means I'm trying to love my partner the most thoughtful, sensitive way I know how. Poly faux pas number 4. Do you really need that much sex? Okay, so even if it is about the sex, it's really none of your damn business. Got it? But putting that aside, A poly relationship doesn't have to be sexual to be a satisfying relationship. Intimacy comes from being open, authentic, and vulnerable with another person. That doesn't require sex. It's just that when you get that emotionally intimate, you often want to be as physically intimate as you are emotionally. And that's okay, but it's not absolute. Honestly, for some people, it is about the sex. And that's perfectly normal and natural. We need to get over this hang-up and embrace the joy of sexual freedom. There is nothing dirty about our bodies or sex, and liking it doesn't make you a slut or a whore. Although, I would wear those names proudly. Buy an extra copy of the book, The Ethical Slut, to hand out to anyone who questions you. Poly faux pas number 5. The problem you're having right now is because you're poly. Funny, when a monogamous relationship is having problems, you never hear anyone say, the problem you're having is because you're monogamous. And finally, poly faux pas number 6. I'd never let my partner do that. Let's get one thing straight. I don't control what my partner does, and he certainly doesn't get to control me. The word let here just makes my skin crawl. No one lets me do anything. I don't ask permission like I'm a child. When two people in a relationship are equal, and no one is on a power trip, no one will be using the words let and allow. When you are truly interested in your partner's happiness, you'll try your best to help meet his or her needs, but if you can't, the humane thing to do is to make it possible for that someone else to meet those needs without jealousy or judgment. Visit the Center for Unhindered Living's blog at unhindered-living.com. Join our Facebook page at facebook.com/unhinderedliving. Have something to say about this? Leave a comment. Join the discussion. Thanks for listening, and have a great day. Currently, episodes of this podcast can be found on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, and Radio Public, as well as our YouTube channel. See you next time.